We know how the incrementation works and we have some basics about the conditional statement, so let's create something based on that knowledge. The first thing we want to create is a mouse click counter. So I have a script created and added to the game object on our scene. So let's open the script and let's declare the first variable. The variable will be of type integer and the name of it will be counter. Let's assign some value to it, which might be a 0. We want to check if the left mouse button is clicked. So whenever we want to get some input from the user, we want to use an update method. So here we start our conditional statement. So we are asking if. Now we are getting some input and we want to check the left mouse button. So get, and we can use mouse button down method, and inside the parentheses, as you can see, it's expecting to give the integer number that is identifying the mouse button, and we want to use 0, so it reflects the left mouse button. So now open the curly brackets, and inside we have to increase the value of our counter by 1. So counter plus plus. In the end, we want to print this value in the console. So print and counter. Just put semicolon at the end, save the script. Do not forget about saving scripts. And go to Unity, press play and see the console tab. Now, whenever we left click, but of course you have to click on the window, on the game window. If you click somewhere else, it won't work. Just go to this game view and here start clicking. And as you can see, we've got numbers increasing by 1 after each mouse button click. So next thing I want to show you is how to make a time counter. So in order to do it, let's go back to the script, and maybe in here I will just comment it out. So let's use a block comment. So put a / and then the star, and after the end of the block that we want to comment out, put it in reverse order, so star and the /, and now let's start all over again. So we want to get a counter as well, but this time we are going to use time delta time. You might remember it, we were using it when we wanted to move some object in update method so that it is universal and standardized for each computer, because time delta time is checking how long the frame takes to render. Using time delta time, we can get a time in seconds. Let's create a variable of type float and call it counter and assign a value 0 to it. Now let's use update method. So just type update, press tab so it gets auto completed. And now we have to increase our counter variable. So use counter plus equals, and now we will use this method time delta time. So now each frame, some decimal value will be added to our counter. That's why we used float, because time delta time is just a fraction of a second. Let's print it out. Print counter like so. And go back to Unity, press play and open the console tab. And as you can see, we are getting numbers increase. So if you don't look at the decimal point numbers, only on the whole numbers, you can see that this is representation of seconds that passed by. I do not like it as it is now, because we don't need these decimal points, do we? We don't. So there are plenty of ways of dealing with it. I'll show you 2 of them. So let's go back to the code again. The first thing we might do to get rid of these decimal points is to change this our float variable and cast it into an int. So to make integer out of it so that the decimal point will be cut off. So let's do it. Just print it and cast it. To cast it, we just add parentheses and add this type that we want to cast it to. So int, and after it, we decide what we want to cast. We want to cast this counter variable. So just do it like so. Okay, let's print both of them for now. Go back and see how it's represented in the console. And now as you can see, we've got 2, 3, 4, and so on. So let's get rid of the old one. I will comment it out. And now I'll comment out the other line as well to show you the third method, which is converting our number to the string with appropriate format. So we are using print again to print it out. We are using our counter method, and then after the dot, you can see that we've got only few options, and the one we are looking for is to string. So now we are changing our number to string, and inside the parentheses, we can add some formatting. So just add quotes, and inside we decide how many numbers should be displayed. And we want to display one number, so we might put a 0 in it. Just semicolon at the end and go to Unity, clear this out and press play. And as you can see, we are seeing only the whole numbers. And if we wanted to see something like 01, 02, 03 and so on, we might use another 0 in our formatting settings. And now if we press play, we see some difference. And as you can see, we've got 01, 02, 03 and so on. This might be helpful, for example, if you ever saw some basketball match. The points display is showing this kind of stuff. So it's 001 or 004 and so on. If you wanted to achieve this kind of result, you might use this formatting. And you can add even one more 0 to achieve this 001 result.